Welcome to another Mentor Minutes episode of the Mind of Business Success podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Cramer, and today we are going to talk about the power of making a committed decision. Now, before you think to yourself, oh, I've made a decision to achieve my goals, we're going to challenge that. And I want to just preface this by saying the mind is tricky. Sometimes we will believe that we are committed to our goal. We'll believe that we made a decision. But if we're really honest with ourselves, we can see in our results and in our automatic triggered responses to setbacks, as a perfect example, that we're wishy-washy, we waver, we're not truly committed. Now, I want you to think about a time in your life when you made a true decision. Maybe it was to purchase a certain home, or it was to start your business. It was to get married to a specific individual. When you made that decision, there was no wishy-washy, there was no wavering. Now, that doesn't mean that you didn't have moments of questioning your decision, but what I'm referring to here is there is a very specific way that you follow through, a very specific way that you move forward and take certain actions once you've made a true decision. And I see this a lot with business owners who are struggling in their business. There's a part of them that has 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You're not fully committed, and that's why you're not getting the results that you want to get. And that's always because of fear. So when we make one of those half-ass, half-hearted, wishy-washy decisions, that's not a true decision. That's giving yourself an out. That's like saying, okay, well, I'm going to marry this person, except I'm not going to fully commit to that. That doesn't make sense. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. Or I'm going to buy this house, but I'm not going to fully commit to buying this house just in case I feel like in a couple months from now, the mortgage is too expensive. No, the bank's not going to accept that for an answer. The only way you get that house is when you make a truly committed decision. So when you think about your goals, think about something that you say to yourself, I really want this. I really want that new level of income in my business. I really want to achieve this new level of success for myself. I really want to upgrade my lifestyle. Well, if you're not creating it, if you're not in the process of taking real actions that are really moving you forward towards the achievement of that goal, check and see. Do you still have 1 foot out? Are you not being fully and completely honest with yourself? Where are you holding back because of fear or doubt or insecurities, or you're still attached to your old story, your old self-image? Where do you need to step up and say, enough is enough? This is bullshit. I'm never going to get to where I want to be if I keep doing this to myself. I've got to go all in. And if when you think about going all in, your subconscious mind starts throwing up all the warning bells, all the reasons why that's not safe and you shouldn't do that, that's why you haven't made a committed decision. You've got to work through that stuff. You've got to use the various different tools to help to release and let go of the fear. Now, I'm not talking about doing irrational, stupid things. I'm not talking about jeopardizing your well-being or jeopardizing your family. I'm not talking about making foolish, reckless decisions. I'm talking about your genuine goals and dreams. Usually the only thing that is holding us back from achieving those things is these unresolved fears, the old mental programming. And you can shift that stuff. You can work through that stuff. You can release and reprogram that stuff. That's what I do. I see it all the time with my clients. I've personally gone through this in so many different areas of my life and in my business. And I promise you, it can be done. If you have a sincere desire in your heart, the moment that you truly commit to that, you can achieve it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen instantaneously, but it means that you are going to have a new level of confidence and conviction. You're going to start taking actions differently, and you're going to start seeing different results. You know, I'm all about real results. Yes, there's always a teaching element. We have to listen, we have to learn, and then we have to go out and we have to implement. So I want to give you something that you can actually implement today. Start by thinking about your goal. What is it that you want? What is that one goal that, if and when you achieve it, is going to make you so incredibly happy and grateful? Maybe right now you can do this. Maybe you're driving in your car while you're listening to this podcast episode, and so this is something you're going to have to commit to doing later. But I want you to write down the goal. Write it down. Write it down in present tense. Write it down as though it is your reality right now, in the moment, as though you've already accomplished the goal. I am so happy and grateful that I have XYZ. Now, when you're writing the goal, you might feel some resistance. The doubt might already start yelling at you as you're writing that down. Notice those things. Maybe you don't initially notice any doubt or any resistance. Maybe you feel almost a little bit numb, like there's no emotion in it. Notice that as well. Because after you write down that goal, I want you to sit and I want you to look at that goal and I want you to really feel into it. And then I want you to start to ask yourself some questions. Why don't I believe I can have this goal? This is going to become very telling for you. Those are your limiting beliefs. Those you're going to need to address. And we'll get into how you can do that in a moment. But a couple more questions that I want you to consider. Why don't I have this yet? It's going to tell you your story about you. Self-image, why you have what you currently have and don't have what you want. So we want to really start to key into what's going on in your subconscious mind. These questions are intended to help draw out of your subconscious and make more conscious the limiting beliefs, the contradicting beliefs that you have that are directly and adversely affecting your results. And just begin to ask yourself questions about your beliefs, your expectations. Now, sometimes you'll have responses that seem somewhat unrelated to the goal. Don't discount those. That's part of your core self-image. I want you to Write these things down, document those things so that you can later come back and you can clean that stuff up. You can start to release and reprogram your beliefs. Because a decision, when you make a true decision, almost always you do not know how. You might have a couple vague ideas. You might have a general sense of the next logical step. But the truth is, we rarely ever know exactly how we are going to get from where we are to the full manifested realization of that goal. But that doesn't stop us. Because when you are really truly committed to something, you know you have a level of faith within yourself, a level of belief within yourself that you are going to make it happen, even though you don't know how. So sometimes the mind will play games with us and say, well, I don't know how. Well, that's a really, really effective way for the mind to just shut you down and keep you in your existing status quo. But when you start to look more deeply at the why and the story and the reasons that your mind is telling you can't have what you want, so don't even bother, don't go all in. If you can be self honest enough about what's really in your subconscious mind, then you have the power to release and let that go. And then you have the ability to click yourself into a true committed decision. And the decision is when all the magic happens. Nothing is going to change until you make a true committed decision. You'll just keep recreating the same scenarios regarding that subject over and over and over again. So I mentioned we were going to talk real briefly about how you actually make those changes. Now, there are actually quite a few different ways that you can change the subconscious mind. Part of it is identifying the limiting belief. And this brief exercise that we did is one way that you can begin to identify what is going on in your subconscious mind. And once you start to identify what those beliefs are, now we want to release and reprogram. So we need to take the negative emotional charge off the old belief. Now, I've taught on this many times. If you're a member of Business Mastery Academy or Winner Circle, or if you've ever worked with me one-on-one, we're always first and foremost releasing the negative emotional charge on those old limiting beliefs, on old memories. This is so critically important because when you just try to program new beliefs, you're reading these incredible books and you're so inspired, and even maybe listening to some guided meditations and you're doing your visualization, but for some reason something just feels like it's not shifting. That's often because you're still holding on to emotionally charged limiting beliefs, old painful memories, and your subconscious mind is blocking that new information from really taking root. You've got to clean up that stuff that is the opposition, the obstacle to you really stepping fully and completely into this new improved version of yourself. So using tools like EFT, tapping, emotional freedom techniques, however you refer to that particular process, is a wonderful way of taking the negative emotional charge off of old beliefs and memories. Release technique, Sedona method. I teach a lot of this stuff inside of the academy. So if you're not already a member of the academy, start your free month. There's no commitment. Get in there. learn how to do some of these very effective releasing processes so you can start taking the negative emotional charge off of those old beliefs. That's going to open you up to the reprogramming. That's all the good work that you've been doing. So you're taking courses and you're doing your visualization and you're writing your affirmations and you're listening to affirmations. Why aren't they working? Because you have contradictory beliefs that you've got to clean up. So to take advantage of that free month, you go over to acintel.us. And links to that are all over my social media. You can also find a link to Business Mastery Academy right on my main website, aliciacramer.com. Take advantage of that free month. Maybe you'll love it and you'll decide to stay a member, which is fantastic. Again, there's no commitment. Everything in there is designed to help you empower yourself, achieve your goals, achieve your dreams, release and let go of your old obstacles and self-imposed limitations, reprogram yourself for the success that you truly desire. And I have made it so that it's a no-brainer. Do yourself a favor and take advantage of the resources that are available to you. It cannot be overstated. If you have not made a true committed decision to your goal, you cannot and will not achieve it. There is something going on within you that is blocking you and stopping you from clicking into that level of commitment that will propel you forward towards the achievement of that desire. So be honest with yourself. If you're not where you want to be, then you've got subconscious programs that are blocking you, stopping you, and holding you back. What are you going to do about it? Now, I'm going to wrap up this episode of Mentor Minutes. I hope you found it beneficial. Remember to head over to the Academy and start your free trial if you haven't already. Of course, I am here to support you. If you have questions, if you would like me to do a Mentor Minutes segment on a specific topic, reach out. Connect with me on social media. Links to all my social media profiles is on aliciacramer.com or at acintel.us. My desire is to help you achieve your desires. So I'm in this with you. Let's do this together. I am here to support you. I know that you are absolutely 100% capable of anything that your heart desires. And until next time, we'll see you in another Mentor Minutes.